Okay, are we ready for that whole project video? If you've been paying attention, you'll see that I've already posted some stuff about this. So this is the video in order to put it in with, what is it, week 11. Um, Finally finalized it all, and let's talk about it. Okay, for this, of course, share screen. Blah, 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 blah. All right. So right here, this is your course, the American government. Now, a couple of things. One, I went through all the feedback about what you thought I was doing, what you hoped I was doing, and if you had any say in it. I took all of that into account, along with stuff that you have said throughout the term. And that's how I finalized the group project. So let's take a look. Now, I have found out that some people go here and then they're only looking at the sides. I would tell you, you should go to content. When you go to content, everything's set up this way. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to do this the right way. We're going to have it look how it does for you. All right, here we go. Now, click on content. You will notice everything is laid out here every week, and it makes it super duper duper easy. This says it's overdue because, I of course didn't do it. In the content, if you go to where it says group project, that brings you here. You've already had your group, your discussion boards. Then you have the step 2. Then I posted this. I am hoping you have read it. A lot of information, and I made a video about it previously. Now we have the project details. After the project details, notice there's something that says project. This is not where you put your presentation. There will be a discussion board open for each group, which is where you will provide your presentation. This is where you answer questions and turn it in. And then this is where I will post your grade for the entire thing. We're coming back to that. All right, let's go to project details. Project details. Here you go. I am here letting you know that this is an actual presentation, as in a PowerPoint presentation. People often ask, what about Prezi, Google Slides, blah, blah, blah. I prefer it to be a basic PowerPoint presentation. Can you use Google Slides? Maybe, but only if you can actually attach it into the discussion board. If it is something where it requires you to sign in, that's not allowed. I also have on here to let you know there is no maximum and no minimum number of slides. You use as many slides as you need to complete the project. So people tend to go a little crazy on this part, and every term people will arbitrarily decide that I told them how many slides. No, there is no maximum, there is no minimum. You have things you have to cover, and you use as many slides as you need to cover all these items. Okay, another thing, we have all of us have sat through really horrible presentations. You know what makes a horrible presentation. Don't do that. You do not just copy an entire page of stuff and stick it on a slide. This is not a paper turned into individual slides. You are supposed to be learning the material, showing you have learned it in the presentation. There are various ways to do this. And I want you to think about the worst presentation you've seen and do the opposite. If you have ever sat through a good presentation, try to mimic that. Now, I'm also offering extra points, extra credit for anyone who does this like a real presentation, to where they have recorded themselves talking about it, doing a proper presentation. So like you would have some words, like authoritarianism, nationalism, totalitarianism. I always stumble over that one. You have that on the slide behind you, but then you're talking about what it means. You're using your own words. You convince me you legit know what you're talking about. You can do this. If you make a video of you presenting your presentation, and when I say you, I mean the group, that's extra. Totally get extra points for this. Every single person who does that will get extra points. And the rules for that is the easiest way that I know of is to just post it on YouTube and provide the link. I do not want it to be anything where we have to download a video or you have to sign in and have an account. I know TikTok is short, so it would not be a TikTok thing, but that's my example because TikTok, I have people try to share stuff with me from there, and I deleted that a while ago. And it won't allow you to open it without having an account. So you can't use any kind of video stuff that forces an account or forces a download. YouTube, you can just post a link. And again, if you know any other platform where you can just upload your video, post a link, and we can watch it, that'd be cool. It would be nice if we could just have the video play in Brightspace. It has like a limit to the size of video, and so I don't think it would work, but you are welcome to try. Now that I've covered that whole extra credit part, this is what is in the presentation. You have to define all of these terms. You were told to look up most of these at the very beginning of this term. You were broken into groups and given a list of words to define. Then in the third step, I gave you that big document that I just showed you again a second ago, and the others are in that document. So these are terms you already should have looked at, you already should have defined. So this part should already be mostly done. Now you're just putting it down. But for those of you who just copy and pasted and stuck it in the discussion board, you can't do that. It has to be your words. Break it down. We are not looking for, look how smart I am. We are looking for, anybody will understand what you've just said. Sorry, I was trying to stop the tickle that was happening. All right, next. This is American government. We have to cover America. So here you have to dissect how the United States of America is governed and state which of the above best describes our current style, as in as of October and November of 2025. You cannot just go, the United States is a democracy. You have to tell me why you say it. Is it really a democracy right now? If so, explain. Give me examples of how it's a democracy. If you decide the current United States government is not acting like a democracy, you tell me which one, you give me examples. You show me why you say it is not currently running like a democracy. This is where those critical thinking skills come into place. You have to not just go by what you have heard your entire life, you have to apply your own knowledge to what is currently happening. It does not matter what happened in 2024 or before. We are going for right now because that is the current government. There you go. Now, you also have to discuss propaganda. You have to tell me what it is and how and why it is used. You need to provide examples. And when I say propaganda, you can use propaganda from other countries, but you also have to use the propaganda that is used in the United States of America, because we've got it too. All the countries have it. And this is one of those topics a lot of people seem to not pay attention to, and they point their fingers at other countries about propaganda and forget that we do it too. So this one, you have to look at what the US does as well. Then I personally think this is the more interesting one. You need to explain what would make a government the way you think it should be done. So this is a hypothetical. This is one of those, in a perfect world, if I could decide how a government was run, you do this. This is a way to put all the different types together and decide what you yourself believe makes a good government. Now, this being a group project, you might not all agree, but you will have to discuss and come to terms. And then you can even totally say, hey, this person thought this person thought this, we came together, and this is how we came to here, because that's legit how government works. This is why it is a group project, not an individual, because no one individual is supposed to run the American government. It is supposed to be group and you work together. That's that whole checks and balances system, you know? So you're going to be putting this into play with your presentation. I do not expect everybody to think the same is a perfect government. So this, in my opinion, will be the more interesting part. Then you need to start to wrap up the whole presentation. So needless to say, I'm telling you the order to go in here. And then for this one, it's each group member has to give their personal thoughts. This is where you're going to talk about how the current government is being run, how you believe it matches with what the group said. Because again, it's a group project. Everybody might not agree. If your group happens to be absolutely perfect and you all agree, great. It makes this super easy. If not, this is your time to say, my group went more for this. My personal thoughts are more like this. It is all respectful. You are not dissing your group. You are not insulting anybody. You're not throwing anybody under the bus. It's just a polite time to stand and share your personal thoughts. That way, everybody who looks at your presentation will know this is what they thought. Okay. Finally, the very last slide, you just tie it all together. This is just, I have it right here. It can be where you just say, hey, our group did a great job. We worked well together. We all agreed. Or it can be, this was really difficult because considering it was randomly selected who was in the group, some of us were at opposite political spectrum. And so it was challenging to agree to stuff. There you go. Okay, now that is the presentation itself. We're going to go back over here to our group project area. And I can't show you it this way. I'm curious if you can look at them like this. Oh my gosh, I think you can. Okay, there we go. Project. Oh, but that's a pop-up window, so you can't see it. So let me reshare. Okay, I'm going to do this again. I'm learning. We are going to do total desktop. Then we will, and don't laugh at how much crap I have open. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I just did that. This way you can check it anytime you want. Student view, so this should look exactly like yours. Go to assessment, go down to rubrics. These are all the rubrics. You are going to look at project. This is the project rubric. You are going to notice there's a lot of stuff that you have 0 points for, or no markings for. Most of these are going to be full points or no points. Only a couple have a level 1. There are no level 3 or level 2s. I just put them in because habit, okay? Here we go. Active on discussion board posting. You were very active. You posted less than 10 times, or you never posted at all. This is your group discussion board. Active on discussion board replying. You replied to everything. You replied to some things. You never replied at all. This is here because every term that I have done a group project, I have always had the discussion board. And there are people who go on there and they post a whole bunch, but they never once open anything. They don't read anything. They don't reply. They will even ask questions to try to look like they're being active. And people are replying to them and they never come back. So if you're one of those people, you're not getting any points. Part of this entire assignment is at the end, you have to view everybody's presentations. So if you view all the presentations, you get full points. If you do not view all the presentations, you get 0 points. If you properly defined all of the required terms, which I just showed you, you get full points. If you do not properly define all of the required terms, you do not. Identify your current government, complete with examples proving it is the current government style. So I already talked about that. You have to provide evidence. Or you get 0 points because you did not cover all of this and or you did not provide the proof. So if you say the United States of America is a democracy because that is how we have been built, that's not good enough. You have to show me how current things are running in order to back it up. Discussed propaganda, provided all required, full points. Did not, 0 points. Explained your perfect government. Again, if you cover it all, you get it all. If you do not cover it all, you get 0. Personal thoughts, discussed your personal thoughts, all points. Did not discuss your personal thoughts, 0 points. Overall presentation, I just walked you through everything you need to do in the presentation. So if you cover all of those points, you get full points here. If you did not, you lose points here. And you would have also lost points all going up. So if you've been doing everything you're supposed to, should be pretty easy. Provide valid sources, multiple valid sources. You cannot just state things. You have to tell me where everything's coming from. And you need quite a few because there's a lot of stuff you're covering. I have provided a lot of sources for you over the term. So this should not be difficult at all. The only way this is going to be hard is if you're trying to do this last minute or you're doing it the lazy way and you're trying to just pop it into Google or chat and copy paste. If you are using your actual brain and the knowledge that you are supposed to be obtaining throughout this term, I gave you sources for absolutely everything already. It's all there. So there you go. Submitted feedback in the assignment. This is that spot where I told you that it says project, and I told you this is where you're going to be providing your feedback. So you either get full points because you turned it in, or you get 0 points because you didn't turn it in at all. In the assignment, it's going to tell you you have to vote for your favorite presentation. That is not your own. So there you go. Follow directions. Dude, this should be a gimme. This means you've done everything I've told you to do so far. So this is kind of like covered everything that was required in the assignment. If you've been doing everything I told you to do, these are free points. So as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're doing good. And then finally, clearly stated your personal opinions. Yes, I am big on that. You have to give me your personal opinions. So there you go. The entire presentation is worth 105 points. That is a little over a letter grade. So I highly, highly, highly recommend getting busy in your discussion boards. Do I know that most people haven't been? Yeah, because I go in there and I peek, and most of the groups have like 1 to 5 messages, and that's really sad. Do I understand that many people will use the excuse, but there weren't details? Yes, people are going to use that excuse. But if you remember, I told you time to start getting to know your groups. I gave you the words. You were supposed to define it in that first video. I also told you to call each other out when you just copy and paste stuff. And most of the groups literally copy and pasted the definitions. Very few have actually gone into a discussion about what it really is. On top of that, the step 2, I told you more stuff to discuss. Most groups never even did that. And then I gave you that other document, which should have gotten the group to go, holy crap, have you looked at that? That thing is huge. What do you think's happening? You were supposed to be utilizing the past 8 or 9 weeks, because we didn't make a group in the first week or two. The past 8 or 9 weeks, you were supposed to be discussing things with your group, getting to know them, make sure you guys can work together, not just, meh, I'm only going to do things when I'm forced. That's on you. Will that affect your grade? A tiny bit. Yes. Not going to lie. That'll affect your grade just a little bit. The people who have really stayed on, they're already starting way up here. Can you get better? Yes. If you have been very slack about being in that group discussion board, get busy now. The busier you are in that group discussion board now, the more points you're going to start to get. Because I will look at how fast people start to pick it up. Because when I start grading these projects, that is legit what I do. I go into the back part and I look at absolutely everything you've clicked on. I look at how much time you've spent. I look at everything. Um, so I highly suggest getting busy. If you have questions, as usual, feel free to message me. But please remember how you're supposed to message me. I keep randomly popping onto Brightspace and seeing messages in there that have been there for a few days. Of course, I don't know why I'm saying it here because if you're watching the videos, you would already know not to do that. Email me or shoot me a text. That is how you will reach me the fastest. Um, Okay, I think that's it. If you have specific questions about this project, please ask me. If you want to go, well, what does it mean? You will have to give me more to go on than that because I've already said everything. And if you didn't comprehend what I said, you're going to have to tell me which part, what your understanding is, so then I can clarify. Otherwise, I'm not going to know what else to say. So, I guess that's it. I hope you get busy. Peace.